I am Palak Agarwal of Vidhayatullah National Law University and currently a legal intern at LEXIS and Company. Today I'll be discussing about competence to a contract. One of the primary conditions of a valid contract is that the parties should be able to enter into a contract. The first is agreement by a minor. An agreement made by a minor is not enforceable by law and therefore it is void. If obligations are enforced on a minor, then the agreement is void, and such obligations cannot be enforced upon the minor. In the case of Hori Bibi versus Damodar Ghosh, a minor borrowed a sum of money by mortgaging his property. When the mortgagee approached the court for asking his money back, Privy Council held that the amount cannot be given back to him because an agreement made with the minor is not valid. For example, there was a minor A who agreed to transfer his property to B with the consideration that B would pay him the money. B paid him the money but A refused him to transfer the property. B moved to the Supreme Court for relief, could not succeed as A was a minor. The agreement with him was void ab initio. Thus, no liability could be imposed on A. Another example is that there was a minor child, Ravi, who was 17 years old. He went to the barber shop with his father to get a haircut. The barber was a smart man and knew that Ravi was a minor, so he only heard the directions of the Ravi's father. He knew that if he would have contracted with Ravi, then the contract would be void ab initio. But Ravi's father could contract on his behalf, so he contracted with him. Another important point is that there can be no estoppel against the minor. Estoppel means when a person communicating in a written or oral form or even by his conduct leads to another person believing it to be true, and then the other person acts on the behalf of the statement made by the first person. The other person is prevented from denying the truth. A minor cannot be stopped from pleading minority, and therefore he cannot escape from the ground claiming that he is a minor. In case of Leslie versus Shield, the minor borrowed a large sum of money falsely to be an adult, and when the money was asked to be given to the owner, he pleaded minority. In this case, the court held that estoppel does not apply to minor and that the minor wouldn't be liable. Every person is in a position to contract unless he is a minor or a person of unsound mind or disqualified by law to enter into a contract. Position of an unsound person entering into a contract. Only a sound person can enter into a contract. A position of an unsound mind is the same as that of a minor, that the contract with him is void ab initio. For example, a sane man who was drunk, he was so drunk that he could not understand anything and cannot form a rational judgment, cannot enter a contract when he was drunk. A person disqualified by law cannot enter into a contract. Some of the legal disqualifications are an alien enemy, or an insolvent person, or a convict, or a foreign ambassador,